This is the time to, right? So, Maria, Baba, you are practicing teaching them?
Not outside, but at home sometimes 10 minutes of an hour.
Okay, nice. So, how about you?
Yeah.
So, you have practiced before? What do you mean then?
Yeah, same.
Yeah, same. So, then, as a beginner, I would like you to practice breathing meditation. So, today doing so, you practice breathing. So, please give your entire attention to the breath. When the breath is coming in, be fully aware. Be aware that it is coming in. And don't go with the breath all the way in. Just stop your observation at the end of your nostril. Right? When it comes back, it is like breathing in area and we go out. Then at that time, again, please be aware. Now the breath is going out. If it is long, if it is short, if it is close, if it is short, keep on being aware. Right? And then, if you could concentrate for maybe you try for 15 minutes, but still you could concentrate, then please start counting. So when the breath comes in, count 1. When it goes out, count 2. Like that. Don't count 3, 4. Just count 1, 2, 1, 2. Like that. Then after that, when you are comfortable, when you could concentrate, then please let it go and start practicing as usual. Please see 3 times together. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Good evening to everyone, and I wish that may this evening too become a very successful spiritual evening. And may you be able to keep at least one step forward in your Dhamma practice. And I wish you all the spiritual success. So if I remind again, sadhu, so we recite sadhu 3 times at the beginning. So that's the ancient Indian tradition. So that's the ancient Indian tradition. So at the beginning, if we do that, Rupishkar, please come. So at the beginning, if we do that, that means we will. That's fine. That's fine. So at the end, if we do that, or at the middle, or at the end, if we do that, that means we appreciate. Appreciation is a very, very great quality that we need to practice. So so in your life, if someone, even though someone does a very small thing for you, you have to appreciate, because they dedicate some of their precious life, some time of their precious life for you. So they could have used such time for something else, but they didn't do that. Instead, they dedicated it for you. That's a nice thing. As wise people, as nice people, those who practice so moral qualities, sila, so concentration, samadhi, and wisdom, prajna. Those are Pali terms. So that's a good quality that we need to practice. So one Arabic poet, so while Jesus says, so Garib alnes, Garib al dunya diya. Mafi shakhs, mafi shwala sikrati. As illness, beat gara laiye. So, right, so it goes like that. Then what it means is, garibalness. The world is cruel. So, garibal dunya di. So, world is cruel again. So, as illness beat garalai. That means, so when people does things, does things for you, what they do is they turn those things sour to you, right? So they turn those things sour to you. Not everybody, most of them. So in concise, it says, so I do whatever I could do, and I go away. So paying your gratitude or not paying gratitude, that's up to you. So it's something that we need to adapt into our life. Gratefulness. So whenever you do, even though we say thank you, better to do it not as a habit, social habit. So with emotions, then you develop those three qualities within, right? So please practice like that. It's very important. Then, as usual, today too, we are going to practice breathing. New meditators, they will practice breathing meditation, and all students, they will practice vipassana, right? So the meditators who are practicing breathing meditation, they are asked to observe the breath as I instructed, and keep on observing in the way that I requested. Vipassana meditators, they will start the second phase of Vipassana meditation today. So you observing the parts. So today all the seats. Oh, fortunately you have one. Yeah. So please. So earlier you were asked to observe the parts of your head. So you started with the top of your head. You observe the sensations there, and then then move to the right side or left side, and you observe that one. Then right or left ear, and then back side of your head, and then after that again right side or left side. So the opposite side from the side that you started, and then the forehead area. You went to the forehead area and you observe the sensations on your forehead. Now today you will move forward and you will start observing the sensations then on your eyelids, right? So right eyelid and then left eyelid, right? Then after, so even though you feel sensations inside the eye, so don't go and observe them. So we just observe the sensations that we experience on the skin level, only, okay? Then after that, so observe the sensations that rise on your nose, right? Then after that, upper lip, on your upper lip. Then after that, so right cheek, then left cheek, right? Then lower lip and chin. Okay. After forehead, so eyelids, right? This whole area. Right eyelid and left eyelid. And then after that, the nose. Then lower lip, so upper lip. Then right cheek, left cheek, and then lower lip and chin. Whatever sense, right? So whatever sensations that you encounter, let it be coldness, let it be heat, and so let it be and so tingling sensation, itching sensation, hardness, numbness, or any sensation. So let it be so. Don't so, yeah. So you just have to touch it. First time, next time you want. Right. Very nice. At the end, if you like, you can have one. Right. Okay. So right. So whatever sensation it is, just accept as it is. Don't try to imagine sensations by mind. So just it should be a sensation which is existing at this moment, right now. Right now. So let it be so. Keep on first observe it, and then remind yourself this sensation is impermanent change. Sensations arise because of 4 reasons. So please keep in mind. Number 1, karma. Because of karmas, sensations arise. Right? So number 2, because of chitta, thought process, sensations arise. For an example, if you're angry, if you are a Vipassana meditator, observe the breath or the body sensations that you feel. You feel like burning sensations all over the body. Why? The mind is not good, so it affected the body and created uncomfortable sensation. When you are happy, so that is the least time that you observe sensation. So somehow at that time too, we generate sensations, light sensations, various kinds of comfortable sensations, right? So because of mind, because of thoughts, we generate sensation. That's number 2. Because of karma, because of thoughts, right? Then number 3, irtu. Irtu means ritu. Ritu means the seasons. Due to the temperature around us, we generate sensation. During the winter, we generate cold sensations. That's why during those times you cover yourself well, right? During the heat season, that means during the summertime, right? So you develop heat sensations within. Then that's why during those days we react accordingly, right? So then because of irtu, because of ritu, that means seasons, you generate sensations. And then number 4, ahara. Ahara means food. According to the food that you get, that you digest, you generate sensations. Heavy food, heavy sensations. So spicy food, then burning sensation. Like that. So whatever food that you eat, accordingly you generate sensation. So I taught you that there are 4 sources for the sensations that we experience. Number 1, karma. Number 2, thoughts. Number 3, seasons. Number 4, food. Very nice. So once again, karma, because of the previous actions that we done and because of their consequences, and karma, then thoughts, chitta, ritu, seasons, ahara, food. Okay, so whatever sensations that arise, yes, the sources are because of those 4. The sources are there, but they have only one characteristic. What is that characteristic? Impermanence. They are bound to pass away. So they arise, they stay for a while, and pass away. So this is the eternal truth about all the sensation. It doesn't matter whatever things that you believe in. It doesn't matter whatever the appearance that you have. It doesn't matter. And whatever the country that you are from, it doesn't matter. So this is the nature of all the beings. It doesn't matter whether you are a human being or an animal or a very tiny being or very big being. They all have this characteristic, this nature with it. But since we don't see this, we develop this strong sensation of selfishness. And then we always cling to things as I, my, mine. Then what happens? Because of that mindset, then when you interact with the other people, you develop various kinds of conflicts. Conflicts can be driven by various kinds of negativity. So it may be anger, it may be lust, it may be jealousy, it may be ill will, and it may be vanity. There are so many negativities with it. But whenever you start to understand by experience, when you start to understand this nature within, what happens is those negativities starts to go away. Why? You develop wisdom. So instead of ignorance, experience by experience, you develop right wisdom, right view about yourself. And then negativity starts to go away. And the burden of the mind that has arisen inside, that we have inside because of our negativity, they start to go away. You start to develop inner peace and inner happiness, right? So work very ardently. You are working, number one, not for anybody else, but for yourself first. And then the other people are also going to benefit, right? So so work ardently and start observing the sensations. So not with imagination, as they actually are, and develop your inner wisdom, right? So that you can develop inner peace and inner happiness, right? Now please keep your back straight, neck straight, head straight. Please keep your right palm on your left palm. Take a deep breath. Please let it go. Take another deep breath. Let it go. Take another deep breath. Let it go. Now let your whole body to relax. Please close your eyes. Not very tightly, not very loosely, just to the level that you can cover the outside things. Right. Calm down. Now, before we start, I'm going to pay our respect and gratitude towards the Buddha, towards the Dhamma, the teaching, and towards the Sangha, the noble enlightened beings. And after that, we are going to start the silent meditation. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Itimeso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho viññācarana sampanno sugato lokamido anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati sattha deva manussanam buddho bhagavati. Swakato bhagavata namo sanditiko akaliko Ehi passiko opanaiko pachatang meditammu vinyuhiti. Supanipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Pujopatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyaya patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Sami patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Yadinang chattari purisa yogani Ate purisa puggalam Ese bhagavato savaka sangho Ahuneyo pahuneyo Dakineyo anjalikarneyo Anuttarang punyakittang lokasati. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. With a very calm mind, with a very quiet mind, with an alert, very attentive mind, with a balanced, very equanimous mind, please start your meditation. The new meditators, please, as I requested, please keep observing, keep focusing on your breath. When it is coming in, be fully aware that the breath is coming in. When it is going out, please be fully aware that it is going out. If it is gross, soft, long, short, let it be so. So just the natural breath to come and go. Keep on observing. Your job is just observing. The Vipassana meditators, please start from the top of your head and keep on moving down. Keep on moving down part by part, pitch by pitch, observing sensations up to the chin, up to the chin of your body. Whatever the sensations that you encounter, they should be real sensations that you experience right now, here and now. And when you encounter them, please be aware and remind yourself. This sensation is also bound to pass away. Impermanent, changing. With that understanding, keep on practicing Vipassana meditation. Whatever the meditation practice that you practice, may that meditation technique may your practice become very successful. And may you be able to feel peace within, peace, happiness within. Everyone, please start your meditation practice. Please stay eyes closed. But if your legs are hurting, you can change your legs. You can change your posture slowly. Now we are going to practice loving kindness meditation in breath. First, we are going to share our loving kindness with ourselves, with you. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be very peaceful. Please spread loving kindness towards yourself first. Now, let's share our loving kindness with our dear parents, teachers, relatives, and friends. May my dear mother, may my dear father, may my dear teachers, relatives, and friends be well, be happy, be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Please spread your sincere loving kindness towards them. Now, let's spread our loving kindness towards the people who are neutral, the people who are not our friends, at the same time who are not our enemies, those people who are in the middle. May all the neutral people also be well. May all the neutral people also be happy. May all the neutral people be peaceful. Be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Spread your loving kindness towards them. Now, let's spread our loving kindness towards the enemies. First, forgive for the mistakes that you did to hurt them. Ask forgiveness for the mistakes that you did to hurt them. And then forgive for the mistakes that they did to hurt you. No use of clinging to grudges. You are the one who finally will suffer. Now, let's spread our loving kindness towards the enemies. May my enemies also be well. May my enemies also be happy. May my enemies also be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Spread loving kindness towards the enemies. Now let's share our loving kindness with all the beings in the world. Not only human beings, animals, and various other beings that you can see, that you cannot see, who belong to various kinds of realms, various kinds of worlds. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be very peaceful. Please spread your loving kindness towards all the beings, all the beings. Now, very calmly and slowly, please open your eyes. Let your whole body to relax. Now please join your palms together and please say it 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So dear Dhamma friends, before I give the teaching today, I would like to remind you 2 things. Number one, So when you do loving kindness meditation, you have to understand you are not practicing a meditation of verbalization. You have to spread the emotion. When you say may you be well, you have to mean it. If not, so just you should not do it just like a mantra. Yes, so uh, so when you chant mantras, you normally you say may you be well, may you be happy, may you be peaceful, like that. No, this is not something like that. So this is you have to practice the emotion, right? So I don't remember last week I taught someone. So it should be an emotion, right? It should be an emotion. When we say may you be well, and for towards anyone, you have to mean it. May you be happy, you have to mean it. May you be peaceful, you have to mean it. And with a very awakened mind, with a very compassionate mind, with a mind full of loving kindness, to the best that you can, you have to share those emotions, right? It's very important. That's the first thing that I want to let you remind you actually. Then number two, when you practice vipassana meditation, so sometimes I told this several times. So sometimes you won't be able to concentrate. At such times, if you cannot concentrate, take a small break. How do you take a small break? Does it mean you open the eyes and you stand up and go? No, not that. So take a break means, so then you stop practicing vipassana, you go to breathing meditation, and you start observing the gross breath, right? Gross breath for several times. And then after that, so when you could concentrate, come back and start again, right? Yeah, please do like that. So that is the second reminder. So, but let's say you feel the sensation, certain sensations in certain areas, but there are blank areas. At such time, don't go to don't feel frustrated and go back to breathing. Wait for a moment, give little bit extra time, and still if you don't feel sensations, move to the next part, right? Next place, and start observing the sensations there. And don't feel frustrated and remorseful or something like that, because it's not under your control. If the rope is not long enough, so then you have to understand you can't take water from the well, right? So the rope should be long enough for the basket to reach the water level and to get water. Okay, so being frustrated means, so you are developing some kind of unnecessary emotions. So meditation means you move forward, right? You don't stay somewhere. You keep on moving, right? With the present, right? You stay grounded and you keep on moving forward. There is only development, no remorsefulness or such kind of emotions mean frustration means you go backward. You try to go backward, but you can't do that. So life is, you can never go backward. So when the moment is gone, it's gone. So you have to learn and you have to move forward, right? So you have to then moving forward, let it go, restart again, work harder. Okay, right? Please do like that. Right. So today I'm going to teach you about the Four Noble Truths. So last week we had the question and answer session. Before that, we learned three characteristics of life. Can you remember 3 characteristics of life? Oh, if so, that's a great thing. Now I'm going to ask. So, what is the first characteristic of life? Yes. What is the second characteristic of life, Miss Cherry? Mr. Herbert? Yeah, oh, sorry, Miss Douglas. Sorry, Mr. Douglas. Yeah. Yes. You. Yeah, that's true. Impermanence. Okay, very nice. Impermanence comes first, and then suffering. Nangi, what is the third one? No, okay, right. Then if you know, let me give the opportunity to someone else. Okay. Mr. Rupesh, can you remember? Selflessness. Yes, selflessness. No soulness, right? So these are the characteristics of life. It doesn't, whoever you are. So all the beings, they have 3 characteristics of life in their life, right? So then now we learn about 4 noble truths. Again, this is also universal and applicable to all the beings, regardless of their ethnic background, religious background, or any background. Right? Everybody have to face the 4 noble. So everybody have these natures with it. Okay. So number 1. So there are 4 noble truths in concise. As a summary, these are the 4 noble. The noble truth of suffering. So suffering. Since the people who lived in the writers in early 1900s use this word, we also use it, but we have to understand this is not the exact correct meaning. So suffering means here, so it goes beyond the physical pain, physical or mental pain. So this is related to universal truth. Okay. So you can use the word terms like unsatisfactoriness, discontentment, right? And then insecurity of life. Like that, there are so many meanings, but still the original word dukkha cannot be translated. It's a very deep, right? So dukkha arya satya. Arya means arya, noble. Satya means satya when it comes to Pali and Prakrit languages. So I'm not going to talk about linguistics, right? Dukkha arya satya. So the noble truth about suffering. So this is the first noble truth. Second noble truth is the cause of the noble truth about the cause of suffering. Right? Suffering, cause of suffering. Then dukkha nirodha arya satya. So those days language Pali. That means the noble truth about the cessation, coming out. That means eradication of suffering, ending of suffering. And then number 4, dukkha nirodha gamini patipada arya satya in Pali. That means the noble truth about the path to the cessation of suffering, ending of suffering. So path to freedom, right? These are the 4 noble truths. So today, I'm not going to talk about the other 3. I will teach them weekly, one by one. Today, we are going to learn about the first noble truth. So, noble truth about suffering, right? So, what is suffering? So, as I mentioned, people think, oh, that's physical suffering. So, that's the way how we use the word. But suffering, as I mentioned, it's a very deep. It starts with the birth. So there are so many births in the world. Certain births you can see, certain births you cannot see, right? So we will pay our attention mostly to the human birth, but there are animal births. There are 4 kinds of births in the world. So number 1, so did I teach you last week? What is the number 1? Yes. There are births that happen because of egg. So some beings are born by eggs. And number 2, we had a small conversation last week. So then number 2, it's so some beings are born in water, right? Some beings are born in wet places, and some beings are born by appearance. No mother, no father, they karmically appear. So that's the nature, right? So Buddha uses 4 words for this: Andaja, Jalabuja, Sansiryaja, and Opapati. These are the 4 kinds of births, 4 kinds of ways that beings are born. We see the first 3, but we don't see the 4th one. But according to Buddha, most of the beings are born according to the 4th way. But our eyesight is not good enough to see that. It doesn't mean that doesn't happen. It's happening all the time, even right now. So beings are born in various realms. So number one, human realm. Beings are born in human realm. Beings are born in divine realms. Beings are born in animal realms. Beings are born in then animal realm means it's a vast one. So Buddha categorizes, but I'm not going to teach all that. Commonly, animal realm. All these have subcategories, but if I go to teach, then tomorrow morning will rise, but teaching won't end. So let me summarize. So animal realm, and then after that, animal realm, and then realm of hungry ghosts. So they have 4 categories and then subcategories. So somehow hungry ghosts. So they are hungry ghosts. If I describe, they are the beings who are born with very ugly appearances, so abnormal appearances, and who suffer because of thirst. So there is enormous thirst, but there is no way to quench it. There is enormous hunger, but there is no way to quench it. So there are such kind of beings. So you can encounter descriptions about them in Buddhism, in Hinduism, and Jainism like that. But you have to understand that they did not copy from each other. So all the practitioners, who practice deeply, when they develop to their mind to the first, second, third, or fourth jhanic level, they gain the ability to sense them. Right? That's why. So they say, I saw these kinds of beings. So descriptions differ because the varieties are very heavy. That's why. Okay. So, but they talk about similar beings. The characteristics, their sufferings, they are the same. Yeah. So I went a little bit further. No. Preta. So hungry ghosts. There are these birds. Then there are asuras. So they are somewhat well-to-do beings, but they are not divine beings. At the same time, their situation is not bad like predators, so hungry ghosts or animals or like that. So it's kind of powerful, but not powerful like the divine beings, subcategory, because they have certain kind of negative energy too related to them. So then asura, um, then hell beings, they are different. So these are the beings. So uh, so once Buddha says, so even inside a space like this, very small space, right? Very small space. So Buddha says there are thousands of beings, such kind of beings, invisible. So even in this so open space, we don't know. So there are, even though we cannot see, they are there, right? Then those beings, and then positive beings. So there are divine beings, and then there are beings who are called as Brahmas, right? Who develop their mind to the jhanic level and who are born in higher realms, right? So then they have separate categories too. Somehow, beings are born in various places. Wherever you are born, we have to understand we can't escape from the three characteristics of life. For sure, wherever you are born, you may have a very long lifetime. Certain beings, so they are their realm and the lifespan of them compared to human life, it's a very long one. So now we have this black hole theory, right? So certain beings beyond that place, so they have different kind of time. So we have different kind of time. So that's true. Buddha said once. So Buddha taught that in certain realms, so 100 years of human life, so human years is 1 day, about 1 day of that realm, right? So such kind of 30 days is 1 month, right? Such kind of 12 months is a year. Like that's how they categorize their life. So like that. So in certain places, so in certain places, 400 human years is 1 day. So it differs. We think that human beings are the only beings who live. That's not true. There are so many beings, uncountable number of beings. So then Buddha says, whatever it is, wherever you go, impermanence is. We had been to various kinds of births, but at the end, now you have come back to the human realm. And here too, but we cannot escape from impermanence. Again, we are changing, and we pass away and we'll be born to another place. So, as a whole, the birth brings suffering, causes suffering. And then number two, wherever you go, you can't escape from sickness. So sickness is also suffering. Wherever you go, you can't escape from sickness. So sickness is suffering. Then number three, after sickness, so decay, it's so old age, being old, that's also a suffering. Nobody likes to be old, right? So that's why whenever you experience white hair on your head, you run to a shop and get some dye and color it. You don't like it, right? That's the truth. So then, right. So that's why people don't like to say their age, right? But you can't escape from decay. It's there. It's a universal suffering. It doesn't matter whether it's a human being or a divine being or any being. So we face this suffering too. Suffering of old age. Fourth suffering is death. Death is also a suffering. Death can happen in 4 ways, right? You don't have to remember this, but for your understanding, death can happen ayukya. So, according to Buddha, ayukya means when your lifespan is over, you will pass away. So, the body, it has a certain amount. So, it has an expiry. So, expiry date. So, it can be up to that level and then you pass away. Certain people don't pass away like that. They pass away when their karma is over. So certain beings die at the womb, right? Certain beings die during the delivery. Certain beings die because of so during the young age, then youth age, middle age, like that, because of various accidents. So all the accidents, don't think all the accidents are karma. All the people who die because of accident, well, so all of them don't face karmas. There are people with weak karmas too. That's a totally different topic about human nature. This is not the time to say. Just understand, certain beings die because of their karma, right? Early. Their body is good enough to stay, but they die because their karma is not good enough. So the karmic energy is not good enough for that person to stay, right? Then number 3, so ubihakya. When the karma and the ayu, so lifespan, when both those are over, certain beings die. Certain people bring a lot of very strong karmas, right? And very strong karmas, so good karmas. And then what happens? They gain the ability to live a very long, healthy life. Very long, healthy life. So they live beyond the maximum level of the so life expectation at that time. They live 100 years, 110 years. So karma should help too. So those beings die, but they are alive. So even though they live 100 years, after that they can't stay. So what happens? After that they pass away. So there is this death. So certain people die because their lifespan is over. Certain people die because their karmic energy is over. Certain people die because both these things are over, right? And then number 4, so upacheda. Upacheda means sudden deaths. So sometimes, for an example, tsunami. Tsunami hits. You have enough good karma, but if you good karma, so if you don't have enough strong good karmas, then there won't be any reason for you. So you won't be able to withstand, and you will pass away. But if you have very strong good karmas, sometimes because of that speed, you will be thrown to a tree, and you will catch the tree, and you will escape. In Turkey, I think I told you this. In Turkey, one building with many stairs, so it collapsed. So most of the people died. So by that collapse, and then they start to dig, searching for the remaining people. So after 7 days, they found 6 months old infant. 6 months old infant survive. Mother is dead, father is dead, no milk, nothing, but he survived. Sound and safe. Right? They called it the miracle child. Yes, actually there is the only miracle that he had done a lot of good actions before. If you give the opportunity for the other people to live a healthy life, if you offer them food, accommodation, clothes, and such kind of things with happiness, then you create very strong good karma. Then what happens later on? They come to your help when it is needed, right? So, so did you understand Inigo? Yeah. So, so Mr. Douglas, do you understand? Very nice. Right. So, then that the people with weak karmas, they pass. They are not karmic deaths. They are sudden deaths, right? Because of the disaster, right? So the people who died in that Turkic building collapse, all didn't have bad karmas. So some people had some good karmas, but those karmas were not good enough to withstand, right? To survive, right? Such deaths also happen in the world. So, right, somehow the death is also suffering. So nobody dies. Oh, how wonderful it is! So it is to die. Nobody dies like that. Even the person who so tries to suicide at the last moment, it is said. So they try to end their life because they have very strong anger, very strong aversion. So towards themselves and the others. So that's why they end their lives. But it says, so according to the reports, it says that at the end of their life, so when they are passing away, they try to escape. But at that time, it's too late, right? So then, so everybody likes the life. Everybody likes the life. So for the people who like the life, like to live, so death is suffering. So this, but wherever you go, even though you have a very long lifespan, in certain so in certain Brahma realms, they have a very long lifespan. So you might be born as 1,000 times as a human being, but that person who was born in that Brahma realm, he's still there, right? So, but it doesn't mean that person is eternal. That person is also bound to pass away and die and will be born in another one, right? So this is the life. This is the life. So commonly life, right? Then after that, what you expect, it doesn't happen. Something else happens. This also brings suffering. You like to live, you like to not to die, but it doesn't happen. You like to not to get sick, but it happens. You don't like to decay, but you decay. So then unexpected things happen. What you don't expect, then you suffer. So it is. So this is not something which is limited to one incident. It is with us all the time, even right now, right? So uh, then if this talk is annoying, but you expected the talk which is amusing, then that's suffering too. Okay, right? Then you can see expectations don't meet, you suffer. It is not limited to so one particular case. So it stays throughout the life, right? And then the things or people or incidents which are dear to you, they don't stay. So you have to depart from those people or things. Then you suffer, right? Let's say you have a Tesla car, you love it, and one day something happens, you have to sell it. You have a very hard time in selling that, right? So, what is dear to you? Then, if you when you depart, when you have to depart, you suffer. And then the things or people that you don't like, when you have to associate them, again you suffer. This happens too in your life. And then finally, the five aggregates. You have to deal with the five aggregates all the time, even though you like or you don't like. What are the five aggregates? I thought Rupa means form. So this form is Rupa. All the time, so we are generating Rupas. So we are generating forms all the time. The previous form that we had as a Vipassana meditator, you know, the previous form that we had in the last moment, we don't have it right now. That very form that we do have right now, it won't last for the next moment. We pass away this fast, not this fast. That's wrong. Very, very fast. That's the word. So, so I taught you in Berkeley University, when they found the bubble chamber, so they checked how fast an atom rise and pass away for a millisecond. What is the answer that they found? Oh, very nice. I'm glad people you remember. 1 after 22 0. Within a millisecond, an atom rise and pass away. The number is 1 after 22 zeros. So how fast we pass away, right? The previous person is not right now. That person is gone in the next moment. So such kind of 1 after 22 zeros times within a millisecond, you change. There is no actual you. So this is the truth. But you don't see that, and you think you are eternally living. I, mine. You are always crazy. So you live with that ignorance throughout the life, generating one after the other negativities, right? Then, yeah, somehow because of that ignorance, so you like certain people, you don't like certain people, you like certain things, you don't like certain things, right? When you have to associate the things that you don't like or people that you don't like, you suffer. This is there. And this is not limited to just people, so to yourself too. Sensations that you don't like, when you feel them, you don't like it, but you have to deal with it because it's a universal suffering that we experience. And then, so Rupa, five aggregates: Rupa, form; Vedana, sensation; Sanya, signals; Sankhar, mental perceptions. Because so on forms, you generate sensations. That's a different faculty. Because of sensations, you develop signals. That's a different faculty. And because of signals, you develop mental perceptions. That's a different faculty. And then because of mental perceptions, you generate consciousness. So these are five. So being means the combination of these five faculties. You have to deal with them whether you like it or not. So these are universal suffering. Let you be an amoeba, let you be a Brahman, no difference. You have to go through this. But whenever you realize why I suffer, right? Why I suffer? then you realize because of the craving that you develop without understanding the truth of things, you suffer. And then what you do is, then in the third and fourth truths, what you try to do is you let go of that craving. When you let go that ignorance, so when you let go of that ignorance and when you develop wisdom, understanding about the truths of this nature, those are not Buddhist truths, Hindu truths, Persian truths, Muslim truths, atheist or agnostic truths. They are the truths, which is universal. And when you see that, your ignorance goes away. When your ignorance goes away, simultaneously, your craving also goes away. And you start to develop that eternal peace and eternal happiness within. Right? So that's the process that you're practicing. Now you know what is suffering. But there are 3 more steps. We have to understand what is the cause of this suffering. The builder of the house, you have to understand. That is the craving. And in the next week, I'll teach you about the second noble truth. Right? So now everyone, please think. Today, all of us got together and practice this noble technique of meditation and this non-sectarian noble technique of meditation, and accumulated a lot of positive energy. And by the power of that positive energy, let's wish. May all our troubles be away. May all the good things happen in our lives. May we be able to practice this noble technique very ardently, continuously, with a very strong determination. By practicing, may all of us be able to come out of all the negativities that we have developed because of ignorance. May we be able to develop all the positivities within. And practicing the Dhamma path, may all of us be able to attain the real peace, real happiness, purification of mind, Nibbana. With those thoughts, everyone, please concentrate. Abhivadana silisse nichang vadda pachainu chattaro dhamma vaddhanti ayuvangno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti me vache ato nibbana sampatti Iminati samijjatu. May all of you be well. May all of you be happy. May all of you be very peaceful. Sukhi hotu. Good night to everyone and see you in the next week, Friday. Sukhi hotu. Sukhi hotu. Good night, and
Good night, Bhante. Thank you.
good night, Mr. Howard.
Good night to you, Bhante. Thank you so much.
May you be happy. Sukhi ho. May you be happy. Super.
Hi, Diane.